Pretty Nerdz. 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 Pretty Nerdz.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pretty Nerdz podcast. This is your girl Nay.
And this is your girl Falan DeAnn.
All right, so Falan DeAnn, how's everything been going for you lately?
Everything's been going okay. Yeah, just still bored, but other than that, everything is fine. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I just moved again, so yeah, I'm always moving. It's nothing new for me. I literally move, I think, like every year. It's becoming like a habit for me. I just, I'm a little nomad, man. I can't never stay in the same place. But so yeah, I just finished that, and that's about it. We'll see what happens this year. Just had my birthday yesterday. Whoop whoop. 33 years of age. We shall see what this new year brings me. I don't know what's in store, but hopefully all good things.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started and jump into the hot topics for this week. I say we start off probably what's fresh on everybody's mind. Last night, Nelly and Ludacris on Versus. They did their little battle. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it was cool. I enjoyed it, of course. Yeah, like it took me back to my old clubbing days. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I know a lot of people use those battles and be like, blah, 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 one, blah, 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 one. I'm like, overall, we kind of knew like Ludacris get like, I mean, he's the man, with it, but I'm like, shit, Nelly had you bopping though. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. Outside of technical difficulties, of course, I enjoyed the jokes, but other than that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like you said, it definitely took me back to them days, boy. I was like, okay, I remember this. It was definitely a good battle. I thought it was going to be, like, in terms of the battle, I thought it was going to be closer than what it was, but I really think that Nelly forgot that it's versus, like you're supposed to be going versus the other person, and so like he was just like coming out of left field with some jumps, and I was just like, Nelly,
we don't remember.
This ain't it, sir. when he played that country joint, I was like, that's what I did. And like I think he played it after. I don't know. It was a serious bop from Luda too. Luda had played like one of them serious bops, and then all of a sudden Nelly come like, yeah, I'm gonna switch lanes with you, and then he hit with that country. I was like,
no. And I'm like, maybe, like I remember like the song with him, and I think Tim McGraw or whatever. It wasn't a bad song, but I'm like, that wasn't your like best work.
That's what I'm saying.
You shouldn't even,
It didn't fit in the battle. I was like, he didn't read the room. Luda came to play. Like, he started off with "Welcome to Atlanta" to let them know what it was, yeah. And then like came every record like that Nelly had that we all knew that was like a serious bop. Luda had something prepared for it. Like he knew when he was gonna do Dilemma. He was like, oh, "Okay, I got you. I'm gonna hit you with Lovers and Friends." There, I was like, "Okay."
Listen, I had forget all about like Splash Waterfalls. I was like, man, I remember how much I love that song. I gotta go and add it back to my playlist. Like, listen.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely, like I said, Luda had a strategy, and so like if we was talking, we've been talking about who wins these. So if we had to talk about who win, Luda definitely took it because he had a strategy and he came to play.
But even if he didn't have a strategy, it's like, I mean, I had Luda when I first, I'm like, it's going to be Ludacris. I'm like, I like Nelly, like, that was like, I think he was like my second or third concert because like when they came out, I was like younger. So I'm like, I already knew. I'm like, I've been following Nelly for like ever. It's the same thing as Ludacris. And I'm like, I mean, listen, Ludacris, I mean, okay. I had already had him. I'm like, if Nelly can play everything, like, just put Chicken and Beer on Luda and let it play.
And see, I thought Nelly was going to be a little closer than what he was because, like I said, Nelly has some huge hits. But the problem was Nelly just didn't utilize his time. I mean, that's all I got for Nelly. Nelly didn't utilize his time properly because there were some records that honestly he could have pulled that I'm just like, why didn't? Never mind, Nelly. You just nah. So needless to say, it was a good battle though. I enjoyed it. I'm just enjoying all these little versus battles. We getting some really, really good content, some really great conversations coming from them. Speaking of really great conversations, obviously during the Luda and Nelly battle, Luda was talking about dropping an album with him and Usher and Lil Jon for the culture, and that led Swizz Beatz to do a whole little thing, sit down with Usher and ask who do y'all think that Usher should battle. So that's my question for you. If they were to do a versus with Usher, who do you think he should go against?
I can't think of anyone, like, especially in his, I don't know, I guess you can say like prime maybe. I can't think of anybody. Like, nobody at all, like, not genuine. It's impossible. Like, I don't know. I was like the only person, like when I first heard it, I was like the only person that I think he could battle, and they wouldn't even be in the same age group, would be Chris Brown. Like, I don't.
And that's who everybody been throwing out. But I'm with you. Like, I don't see them. Like, everybody's been throwing Chris Brown out, and I'm just like, I just don't see him on. When I think Usher, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Chris Brown is like one of Usher's sons. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like he is, and that's true as well. It's like you can't have that's like him and Michael Jackson going against each other. Like, it wouldn't, because that's like the mentor and the mentee. You know, but I'm like, that's it. Like, I can't.
I mean, you might could if he did it right. You might could get Genuine if he did it right. But Genuine have to be in his right mind. He probably have to call Timbaland up and be like, Timbaland, you got to pick the records that I need to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because because Genuine
got hit.
High key got some bops though.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, Tony, like, I can go and pull the song, like, yep, do that. But it's like, I wouldn't trust him not to be on cocaine doing it. So it's ruined it. Like, you gotta be trusted.
Oh, that is true. But I mean, that's honestly, if I had to think about it, he's probably the only person in that age range that I think has enough hits to go against. Because Tyrese don't got enough hits. Tank definitely ain't got enough hits.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? So like, Genuine is really the only person I think who could go against Usher. But like you said, he'd have to be completely sober, and he'd have to literally call up like Tim and Missy and be like, okay, y'all pick the order and y'all tell me how to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How I should do this. And I mean, he might could pull it off if Tim give him a good lineup of how to do it. Then he'd have to be super strategic about it, because Usher could play Confessions through. Like,
listen, play. Matter of fact, shuffle it and just let it play. Like, even if you, because you even like Nice and Slow, it's nobody. Like I said, Genuine was the only person that I feel like, because I'm like, he had like these major hits. He could dance, all of this. And I'm like, that's the only person that I could see. But at the same time, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he gonna fuck it up, and then it won't even be good no more. So, yeah. I don't know. But that's the only person.
That would definitely, like I said, that would definitely be interesting. I think at the end of the day, they were settling pretty much Chris Brown. A couple people threw out Justin Timberlake, but Swiss Beats quickly shut that down. He said, "We're doing this for the culture now."
Listen, and why are people so like? I've seen like super like major tweets about that, and I'm like, why are y'all so like inviting? And even Justin Timberlake though, no. But why y'all?
But if we're being honest, Justin Timberlake don't even have the hits to go against Usher.
Right, and most of the people that watch it be like, so what we doing? Exactly. We might know one or two Justin songs, but after they're like, what we doing?
Basically, that's it. I'm with you. Justin would have to pull some NSYNC records. I'd be like, oh, okay, I know that.
But be like, no, but I don't know. No one.
Basically.
And I hope nobody comes out and be like, say some stupid shit and be like, I can go against Usher and I win.
Don't do
Son,
it.
pull your catalog and then pull his with hits. I'm like, because
I was seeing some people throwing out Trey too, and I was like, again, like I can't see Trey song. I could maybe see Trey versus Chris Brown.
I could, but I can't. No, because it's like I feel like they also have to be. Even though I threw Chris Brown after, and that's only because I'm like, that's the only person I feel like could be hit for hit, and when you just think about the whole catalog, but it's not in the same generation. And even though Chris Brown, his personal life, whatever, but music, I'm like, it's not the same either. Like they sent like Usher had love songs, like actually love songs.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I fully agree with you on that one. Staying kind of in the versus realm, there's been talk about Monica versus Brandy. Everybody has been talking about it. Everybody wanted to see it. Brandy said she'd be down to do it. Monica said no, she ain't with it. What are your thoughts?
I can kind of see, I don't know, like I can see Monica not being with it. I'll be here for it though, because listen, you just put the boy's mind on repeat and then we can argue about that. I don't know. I'm here for it though. I wish they would, because I was like, I thought they had kind of like buried everything, but I know like some people still have this, beef that they want them to have, and maybe Monica's not in that headspace right now to, deal with like it's no beef. It just is what it is. But I think a lot of people underestimate Brandy too, because they like, oh, she ain't had that many hits. Monica had hits. And I'm like, who ain't had no hits?
But see, I've been seeing it the other way around. Like, I feel like a lot of people underestimate Monica, because everybody was like, Brandy would wash Monica. That's why Monica don't want to do it. She's scared, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. If y'all go back, I was like, Brandy and Monica was pretty, like, as far as musically, they was pretty, like, on the level. That's why everybody was always, pitting them against each other. Oh, the reason I think that people feel like Brandy is just like so much more above Monica, I think, is because they factor in all the other stuff that Brandy has done. Because if you factor in all of that, then it's like it's easy to see Brandy is overshadowing Monica, because Brandy was doing everything. You know what I mean?
And see, I guess for like I've seen when it first came about, or the discussion was talked about. Sorry. People were like, oh, well, Monica had hits well on into, 2000s and blah, blah. I'm like, at that point, I was like, I just think Brandy kind of switched, because I'm like, you see her on Broadway and all of that stuff. So I'm like, I mean, vocally, she's there. I don't know. I was like, but like I said, I'm here for it, because I'm like I said, the boy's mine, brokenhearted. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm here for it all. Angel, just put it on.
It would be a good battle, but I'm with you. I don't think that Monica, because from what Monica was saying, she's like, it'd be like going back in time to 1998, where everybody is just like pitting them against each other and making it a beef that isn't there and all that, yada, yada, yada. She said she would be down for it if it was more like, she said she seems like it's, some of them are turning into more of like a celebration as opposed to a battle. But she's just got to remember that no matter what, people going to score it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's called versus. Yeah. So people going to decide who they feel like come out as the victor. But she can come into it and approach it. And her and Brandy could come into it and approach it as we just doing a celebration. I mean, that's what Erica and Jill did.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's just honestly however they take it. But I don't think we'll see it just for the simple fact I just really don't think Monica's into it.
That's cool. I was like, because, I mean, there's no one, shit, even if you think about Brandy and putting her against somebody else, it's like, shit, it really, trying to think, it really ain't, unless you go girl group, because that was the only thing that I could think about doing that daytime was like, it was a shit ton of girl groups.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would probably have to pick some folks who came a little bit after them because Brandy and Monica was kind of like in an awkward era. They was like you said, there was a bunch of girl groups and then there was like mega diva singers. And you can't put them up. I'm sorry, you can't put them up against like a Mariah Carey or something like that because that's a wash. So
that's me.
And then you can't go against no girl group. So if they don't go against each other, then you'd have to like scoot up a little bit, like to maybe like the Ashantis and all of that stuff like that, and try to bring them into it and see like, okay, maybe we could get a Brandy versus Ashanti or something like that. Even though I've been
that's a bad one.
I'm just trying to throw out a name.
As much as I love Ashanti, I think she's beautiful, but
oh man, I'm just trying to throw out a name here. I have been seeing that they've been talking Ashanti versus Keisha Cole. And I said,
because I still feel like that's clear Ashanti, because Keisha Cole.
That's what I said. I was like, Keisha got hits like that though, y'all. Come on now. I mean, listen, if we keeping it honest, couple of them records, Keisha really, we was like laughing at Keisha for that record. You know what I'm saying?
Be like, why she yelling just like this? She just gonna yell?
That Love record.
Ooh, shit. That's the when you say her name, I was like, that's the only thing I could think. No, ma'am.
Oh, but we love you, Keisha Cole. Please get a sense of humor about yourself, though, boo. We love you, though.
So dramatic.
Let me see. I'm gonna give you a couple quick hitters really quickly. As I mentioned last week, Little Richard did pass away. It is being said that he will be buried in Alabama at an HBCU. I'm not sure which one yet because I didn't see it in the article. The report of where he shall be laid to rest. Also, we have Raven Simone. She did an interview recently where she said that she's still, all of these years, because you know how sometimes, I guess, with child stars, you hear kind of all of these stories and stuff about them as they become adults. Well, she says that she still has her Cosby money and that she hasn't touched any of it. So I think that's, commendable, just because I think she's a good story in general. I mean, if we're thinking about child stars and sometimes how they often go off the rails, Raven's a pretty, I would say a decent example of at least becoming an adult, and she's had some questionable moments, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not being like
at least she still got her money.
Yeah, basically. Not being like a drug addict or basically like falling off completely.
And I guess that goes to show as well, like just how long she has been in the business, because I'm like, it has been a long run for her that like, did you spend the Mr. Cooper money? So yeah, it's been a long run. So.
Basically,
I
she's
mean,
been in a ton of shows. Now that I think about it, so salute to her for that. Another quick hitter, because I definitely am not going to spend no time on this, but I know it's been trending all over the internet. Kevin Gates has a sex tape, apparently. Whatever. If y'all interested in that, I guess it's on Twitter. I don't. That's
but what
not
I
my cup of
find
tea.
it crazy is, well, not so much as crazy because it's not. It's typical. Like, I just see his wife. I'm like, bro, you not embarrassed? Because it was like this whole statement that she had came out with. I'm pretty sure it was probably old, but it made its rounds on the internet a couple of weeks ago about how she stayed down and all of this stuff. And I'm like, girl, it don't look like it's paying off.
Yeah.
Because not only like you brave enough to put it on tape, but you know what? Okay.
Child, listen. The latest reports, I guess, is some people are saying that they have an open relationship. Others are saying that that's not what she said. She said that she's open to doing threesomes, but she has to be present. So apparently, either way, it don't sound like they on the same page.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I guess in more news, Meagan Goode, there's been rumors for a while that she bleached her skin, or that she's bleaching her skin. She hasn't really said anything about it until recently. She kind of finally shut it down and addressed it. She said that she is not bleaching her skin. She said that she went to an unlicensed esthetician and they did some kind of treatment on her face and that messed up her skin, and she has been going to see a professional now who's been helping her, and she said her color is finally starting to come back. So,
but I'm trying to figure out, like, I saw the comment and I'm like, but she wasn't never dark skinned though. I'm like, she was brown. I mean, you act like she came out like Michael Jackson color or something. I'm like, I
mean, to be honest
okay.
with you, I never thought she was bleaching. I honestly thought maybe she was sick. You know, because she did look paler, but I just thought she was like sick or something. And so that's why I never commented.
That's why I need, because I'm like, I didn't get bleach vibes from her. I'm like, because you can tell if somebody bleaching. Like, I don't care how much, you can tell that they bleach. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't get that from her. But the comment, I'm like, y'all trying to act like that she was my color or something. She came out looking like Michael Jackson. I'm like, she was brown and she was just a lighter brown. And it literally looked like how brown skinned people in the wintertime, they can come out real pale. And then at the end of the summer, you like,
yeah,
bro, you brown. You know, so right. So I'm like, that's how I took it. You know, I'm like, well, maybe she ain't getting the same sun that, you know, she got last year. So
yeah, exactly. So, but nonetheless, she felt like she needed to address it, so she addressed it. So y'all can cut the bleaching crap and leave her be, please. Also, kind of staying in that realm, Reginae Carter, she addressed, because I saw it trending on, I think it was, I don't know if it was IG or Twitter, where people were talking about her friendship with, is it Fabulous and Emily's daughter? Is it Taina?
Taina, I think. And Lori.
And Lori Harvey. So, I didn't see the video. Did you said you checked it out, right?
I did see the video, where she was addressing where people were saying that they don't hang out or they're not friends anymore because she doesn't fit in with them. And she basically was saying like they're still good friends. They're still cool. They're cool with all of them. And she mentioned Asia. I don't know if she was like Asia at all, or who or what. But she was like, I'm in Atlanta. All of them stay in LA together. So of course you're not going to see me in, you know, pictures when they're, you know, out or whatever. We don't stay in the same place. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Shit, we're in fucking quarantine. I'm not finna fly and put myself in danger to go and hang out with my friends when I could just be like, hey, especially they got money, be like, it ain't no set time they gotta go to the beach. Be like, push come to shove, shit, I see your ass on some tropical island when it get better. You know, like,
yeah.
I just didn't like the whole part with people like she don't fit in. Why wouldn't she fit in?
I agree with you. I actually, when I saw it, I was like, what y'all mean? Like, I don't understand.
Because I'm like, it ain't right. That's how I feel. Because I'm like, they run in the same circles. They basically are, you know, they all got money or whatever. I'm like, the only thing I can say that she didn't fit in is because y'all want to say she dark.
That's all it could be, in all honesty, because high key, I think she prettier than the other girl anyway. So the fabulous daughter, she definitely prettier than Tiana or Tiana, whatever her name is. And I mean, Lori got a nice body, but that's all I can say.
Right now, that's all it sounds like. She's not, you know. And she was like, "We all popping," and I'm like, you know, it's true. Y'all all popping. Y'all young, you know, doing your thing or whatever. But I'm like, I just don't like. She don't feel. Well, how she don't? I'm like, her body is on point. She's pretty. She got money. How she don't fit in with them?
Basically,
y'all just own Tiana and Lori because it's, I guess, that's the IG model type that everybody is trying to pull or look like, and she doesn't fit that mold.
Yeah, agreed. And probably because she got a little bit of common sense. But
listen, ooh, child.
Because we know Lori lacking now. Sorry, she lacking.
When I say I couldn't even be out here in these streets, be seen with Future, much less attached to him. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay. Child, listen. I know. Listen, all I know, Steve Harvey got to be embarrassing the motherfucker. He got
right.
to.
You gave all these motherfucking tips, and here. But she got it honestly though, because her mama has always kept somebody with money. So
yeah, that's true. Also, I saw on IG the Trina versus Kaya thing, because Kaya was saying she wanted to go hit for hit with Trina, and Trina was like, "Sis, what hits?" And I mean, listen, I saw a couple of people literally trying to justify this and say, "Man, y'all sleep on Kaya. Kaya got some hits, but listen."
Which ones?
All I know is my neck, my back. I'm
sorry. That's it.
So she would have to do that on repeat, because
anything else she put on, I'd be like, I don't know. And then people like, well, Trina don't have a lot of, it's all of hers are features. I'm like, but people play features on a versus battle all the time. I'm like, shit, features for some songs make that motherfucker be like, bitch, rewind it to that part. I don't even want to listen to the rest of the song. Just fast forward. I want to listen to just this verse. So I'm like, I mean, after my neck and my back, and then Trina play You Don't Know Now, that's it.
The facts. Facts.
Listen, wrap it up and let's go home. I mean, what else? And then people were naming kill. Well, this track was. You can't name no tracks that you like that don't nobody else know about. That's not how it works. Because you a fan. Basically. You gotta name tracks that even be like, okay, even if you ain't no fan of Trina, but you old enough, nigga, you know it ain't now what? Like, you know the song though, because you heard it enough.
Facts.
I'm like, kid, go home, girl, and find you something to do in their basement.
Facts. Honestly, I just really wish she would relax. I know that her and Trina got a long standing beef or whatever, but clearly Trina is paying that girl dust. She need to let it go. She got to let it go.
And I'm like, you want to beef with her so bad, and that ain't your ministry, sis. She ain't there for you. Not and I'm like, she might battle somebody else, but she ain't gonna battle you. And I'm like, it ain't got nothing to do about being like fearful. I'm like, I wouldn't even battle her for the fact that she looked dusty. Be like, well, I'm finna. I'm not finna battle you and you look dusty, be like, your best clothes. No, ma'am.
Child, listen. Needless to
And you,
say, we will not be seeing a Trina and Kaya
right.
battle. It will not be happening.
And tell her get them wood panels out of her place.
Silly. But I guess on to our last topic for this week, Boosie. Honestly, every time I see him do it, anytime, I'm just like, Lord have mercy. He gonna say something, do something that's just beyond me.
Foolish. And as bad as it is, it was a part, I guess, like the emotional part of me, I was still like shocked. But then the practical part was like, I'm really not shocked because he said something. I know people are like, it's in a song, but I haven't listened to Boosie in so long that I can't say for sure it's in a song. But I know like a couple of years ago, he mentioned that he was going to get it done, like have some grown lady give his son fellatio and he was going to be 12. But he got all this backlash from it. He like, I was just playing, blah, blah, and I ain't doing that. So I think people kind of let it die down. And then, of course, on his live, he commented that not only did he do, like, get it done for his sons, he got also done for his nephews, and he, quote unquote, talking about he raising them boys right. So how?
And the part that really irked me or really got to me is that, especially in our community, we are so homophobic that people was actually applauding the fact that he basically had his sons, his children, and his nephews molested.
Facts.
I just don't understand.
And even like I put it on my status and I was like, it's not even funny that like he literally had his son. At that point, I didn't watch the actual clip. I just read it and people just kept alluding to his son. But that you had them raped, because I'm like, that's a grown woman, they're 12. And it was a lot of men like, that's not rape. And I'm like, that's rape, sweetheart. And I'm like, if you went through that, and I think a lot of stuff in our community that we go through, because I'm like, we saw that with women and R. Kelly. It's like, oh, but we was doing it when we was younger, blah, blah, blah. But you have to recognize it for what it is. Unlike just because it happened and you think that, oh, you came out okay, blah. No. Because I'm like, a lot of y'all carry a lot of anxiety, a lot of untreated PTSD, a lot of repressed sexual emotions that you don't know where it came from. And that's it. I'm like, this is an adult. And I'm like, there is nothing that's attractive to me about a 12-year-old little boy. I'm just like, oh my God, you're so cute. That's it. But like to do that, I'm like, that is nasty. And then I just don't get the comparison to, I'd rather let my son stay with Boosie than be Wade. I'm like, how did that even become a comparison? The fuck?
Girl, I'm telling you. The homophobia be jumping out of these folks. And that's just what it is. In all honesty, that's what it boils down to.
And I'm like, you getting your son a blowjob at 12 by a grown woman is not going to stop him from being gay. If anything, if he going to be, that's going to, you know what? That has pushed me to it. I don't ever want another vagina in my life.
Yeah. You are correct. I'm disgusted by it. Ugh.
And I've just seen people like, well, I said, first of all, with my children, I want them to be like, Mama, this is where I'm at with, you know, how I'm feeling. Be like, well, listen, let me tell you this. This is what you're getting yourself into. Give you a breakdown. This is how you protect yourself. Now, I don't want to hear all the details. You can take that shit somewhere else. But it's just like embedded, I guess, into some people's head. They're like, oh, if you don't stop them from being gay, then this is what. You cannot stop somebody from being gay. Because as much as they repress it, it doesn't stop them. Like, should you see, we have a whole trend and it has not slowed down of BL brothers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just like, and then again with this whole, I'm like, people are adding to the narrative with D-Wade's daughter something that they didn't even mention, so they can get he can make a choice to get his genitals. That child never said that. Never even gave her sexual preference. It can still be women.
Big facts. Ooh, they ain't ready for that conversation though. They are not ready.
I said she literally gave what gender she identifies with. That was it. And
That
y'all
was
have
it.
went to the anatomy being taken away. Ain't gonna have no kids. Attracted to men. Nothing like that was ever said. And again, she could still be like, I'm still attracted to girls, but this is how I feel. But I'm like, because of lack of education and ignorance, because it's out here and available, you don't like, you're not even trying to know. It's just, this is what I have in my head. That's it. And then it's so crazy because so many people went off on D-Wade just to, how can a child make that choice? But you let a 12-year-old make a choice about, not even a choice. You force sex
on a 12-year-old.
On the 12-year-old with a grown woman. I said, no matter how you look at it, even if you was I said, it's just nasty to facilitate sex between anybody, but especially your child and a grown person. Even if it was a child and another child, like, bro, why are you so involved in what your child do with theirs? I don't get it.
Not at all. Utterly disgusting. Listen, for once in my life, I was agreeing with Amanda Seales because when she was like, I'm sick of y'all asses, I'm sick of this planet, shit, I'm with her. I'm tired.
Pluto, y'all got space for, so I know y'all ain't even no planet no more, but I will come through. Like, anybody got some space.
Super tired, y'all.
The mental gymnastics people have went through to be like, this is fine, or it's always been done. I'm like, just because it's always been done does not make it right. And then you see, like, even though we all knew it's grown women that are pedophiles and rapists, but you just see how many of you like, excuse my language, bitch, you nasty.
Facts.
Like, flat out nasty. And my mom, I went to her job, just quick story, went to her job, took the baby little sonogram photos, and of course they had one with his legs open, was like, it's a boy. And one of the ladies was like, girl, his penis already big. I'm like, first of all, give me my baby photos. And why are you even commenting on, this baby's not even here yet. He's still growing. And it's a sonogram.
Girl. Weirdos.
I was like, you know what? A lot of y'all gonna be, listen, trash.
Absolutely.
Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, y'all are really coming on a sonogram's penis.
Girl, I'm telling you, there's just some weirdos out here in these streets, and listen, I am, as soon as they say we could leave this planet, I'm on the first, I am on the first little ship, okay?
Like, I'm gonna take my life savings, my cash out my 401k plan.
I'm gone. As soon as they say that they can support life on Mars, sign me up. I am going.
Like, listen, that's one of them times where, like, y'all need a test subject. Listen, let me, because this right here, this ain't working out.
Absolutely not. Well, that is all of the hot topics that I have for this week. You have anything else that you want to add on there?
Nope, nothing else for me.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump out of hot topics and move right into the relationship portion of the show. So, I'm going to hit with the relationship question of the week. So this week I am asking, when do you think is the appropriate time to introduce your kinks to your partner?
Oh, that's a hard one. think it depends on, I guess, the level of kinkiness it is. But it's no, because I want to say it should be early, but then not too early because you don't want to be like, oh, let me scare you off. But then at the same time, it's like, listen, this is me. And this is, how I am. And maybe this might be a deal breaker for you. I don't know. No.
Well, I mean, that's a decent answer. Did you have a timeline for you?
No, I just kind of played it as it came along, like, hey, boom. So by the way, just put a little bit in there and be like, okay, let me test the water on this. Okay, this works. Okay, we keep going down. How about this? You're like, if he runs, he runs.
And see, I think, and that kind of was actually going to be my answer. I feel like, in all honesty, I don't know if there's necessarily a timeline as much as you should just kind of feel it out. Like, I think when you're in a relationship, you know your partner the best, or at least that should be the point. Yeah. Y'all listen, because some of y'all don't, but that should be the point of your relationship, to actually be getting to know your partner and knowing your partner, for y'all to be in sync, basically. So, and if you know your partner, then you kind of know the timeline or the time frame to introduce. And like you said, if you know yourself too, and you know, okay, so these are the type of things that I like. I know that some of it is extreme, so let me push that to the, a little further back, because maybe my partner is a little bit more straight laced. So, you know what I mean? Or, vice versa. Maybe your partner, you need to introduce it to them up front so that they can have time to process it and, do whatever they need to do. So, yeah.
That's a tough one.
Agreed.
So, I found the question.
Okay.
So, and just to put this out there, so y'all won't be like, "That's common sense." It's not that fucking common, because the person that posed the question had comments that went both ways. But it's, if you get in a committed relationship with a man or woman, and he or she tells you that he would never stop talking to his ex, they don't have any children, would you continue their relationship?
So, are we talking like talking as in just like a friendship talk? Or are you talking as in like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we still connecting, pursuing type talking?
I'm gonna go with friendship.
Okay. I would say, well, my response to that is because I know myself inside and out, and I'm a jealous person. Like, jealousy is something that I have to actively work on. It would be a no for me. I mean, just because listen, I value my peace so much, and like, while a little bit of jealousy is okay, I think you know what I mean? It's natural and it's okay to have, because you're gonna have some of those moments, but like, for it to be like crazy over the top, I never want to get in a space. So, and I know that like, if you're constantly communicating with your ex, that would put me in that space. So It would be a no for me. What about yourself?
I definitely couldn't continue, and it's just because, like, why? Do you feel the need to talk to your ex? Like, and I understand people like, oh, we make better friends than we were in a relationship. Okay, well, tell her hey and bye. Like, I guess I don't get the necessity of keeping in touch with people that you once had a romantic relationship with, like that, because, and it's not even, I guess, like a jealousy thing. It's just, I'm not in touch with any one of my exes, and some of them I don't have any. Well, all of them now, I don't have any hard feelings towards. Some of them were bad breakups that I'm like, I wouldn't even say hey to you if I saw you right now. But some of them are like pretty cool. Like I'm friends with them on Facebook. I, might like a picture here and there, be like, oh, congratulations on you buying a new home. But there's no reason for us to be friends. Like, even if, like, we didn't work out as a relationship, we should be friends. No.
Right.
Like, there is no reason for that. That ship has sailed. Maybe we should explore friendships before relationship. We didn't, but oh, fucking well. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just me.
And then I would say it also, like, the level of the relationship would also play a factor, because, like, if it was just like maybe like, one of them little super short flings or whatever, then it wouldn't be like I could maybe like get it or understand, okay, y'all had a little fling, maybe y'all was all cool, somebody set y'all on the blind date, y'all had a fling, so now y'all in the same friend group, y'all still cool, whatever. But like if y'all was together like months, years, stuff like that, like I couldn't, why y'all don't have no like actual ties, like kids or nothing like that, what y'all need to communicate about?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what do y'all need to be friends for? Like, I don't get it.
Put me on 3-way, and then we can all talk.
Let me know what's going on first. Let me talk to sis. Like, what's going on? So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, that's one that I'm just like, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. Like I said, I would first factor in the situation. Because, like I said, I could probably be understanding if it was like a short relationship, couple weeks or whatever with you, and I know y'all are in the same like friend group, y'all share some friends, so y'all gonna see each other with woo. So of course y'all gonna be cool or whatever like that. I still wouldn't understand like the constant communication, because I don't think if you're in a relationship with somebody anyway, that you need to be having like a constant communication with someone who isn't your partner. But but that's just me. All right. So that is all we have for relationships this week. Let's go ahead and move on to the new music, new TV, new books, whatever, that section of the show. So, any music, books, TV?
No music. Just still on my same old. Nothing for books. TV, of course. I don't know if it's like documentary, I guess, like, or people finance crimes, but it's on Hulu. It's called Mega Millions, or no, Mac Millions, sorry. But it's a documentary how the McDonald's game back in, like, it started in the late 90s, early 2000s. The Monopoly game that they play every year, how basically it was just taken over for years by this whole like scam that the security guard that was transporting the $1 million pieces was basically selling them.
Oh.
Yes. And people were basically, when I say I felt bad, it was only like 2 or 3 people I felt bad for. Because like one lady mortgaged her home and never made any money off of it because they wanted their percentage first. So because it was installment payments, they would take the first couple years of the installment payments. But then you stuck with all the fucking taxes on that money because the money hasn't been taxed yet. And that's how they actually get, I guess, the person that snitched because she got a huge ass tax bill.
Oh.
but she didn't get none of the money, so she called and she snitched on him. So it was really interesting. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, that makes sense as well. It was kind of dumb because I'm like, even from a McDonald's standpoint, I'm like, y'all never noticed that all these people that won these games were just in Florida or very close to Florida. So yeah, but it's a good series to watch. I like finished it in one day, but at the same time, like I said, it makes sense why people are like, damn, no one ever really wins. It's like, are y'all paying people to say that they won? Because I mean, it was this very small group of people, and it's like the game was already set up before, anything. So,
listen,
really interesting.
That just makes so much sense to me now. That's why my ass never won no money.
You are not gonna win. And the crazy thing about it is, it wasn't just $1 million piece; it was the high game pieces as well. So that's why you like, why the fuck ain't nobody winning a car, or like,
nothing.
How the hell it's just these people? But yeah, that's the reason why, because they were actually selling those game pieces and stuff like that. So
damn,
yeah,
man, that make wow.
Yeah. I was like, bro, y'all always, when I say, I'm like, if it's a way to do it, I'm like, Lord,
they figure it out.
Listen. And I'm like, how did they, but I guess like one of the sad things about the story as well is it was this small printing company that basically printing those pieces was the majority of their business. So of course McDonald's withdrew from them, so that basically like tanked that company.
Damn, that sucks. Yeah,
or not so much as McDonald's, but the promotion company that McDonald's used, that was their large book of their business. So of course, like I said, it tanked that company, and it really wasn't their fault, because it's like the security guard that was hired to do it is actually the person that was fucking selling the damn pieces. But yeah, so
interesting. Anything else?
Nope, that is it. What else I've been watching? That's it. And I be watching Caribbean Life on Hulu too, but that's just because I want to be on the island somewhere.
Well, as for me, I don't have any new TV or anything like that. New books either. New music. I haven't, as I said last week, I'm always super late to listen to things, but I do know some new music dropped. That kid, the guy from Canada, Nave, me, whatever. He had an album that came out, so if y'all want to check it out, go check it out. It's not my cup of tea, but he ain't my type of artist. But hey, some of y'all out there like it, so go for it. Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, they had a song that came out. Yeah, again, not my cup of tea, but by all means. And of course, the guy Future dropped the album. Yeah. So some people saying it's good, others is like, same old. But I haven't listened to it, obviously. Needless to say, if you into that as well, go check it out. And yeah, that is all that we have for new music, books, and TV. Anything else that you just want to kind of mention, throw out, talk about real quick, get off your chest?
Nothing for me.
All right.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.
All right. So really quickly, I'm going to give you guys the nerd moment of the week. First and foremost, the CW, their Arrowverse shows, obviously due to the pandemic, they normally premiere in October. They've been pushed back all the way till January of next year. So if you're a nerd like me and you miss your comic book shows, you're going to have to wait all the way till 2021 to get you some new seasons. And you probably should pretty much expect that for most TV, because nobody has actually started shooting again yet. I think Tyler Perry is the first studio that's saying they're going to open sometime in June or July, and the rest of them I haven't even heard about them opening up yet, so we shall see when that occurs. But nonetheless, you should be expecting most TV new seasons to probably start sometime in 2021. Also, last but not least, I finally, after all these weeks of talking about it, I watched Code 8 on Netflix. I will say it was decent for the fact that it was like kind of like a low budget, like when those Kickstarters, as far as how they raised the money to get it created and done or whatever like that. It was pretty good in essence as far as like the special effects and all of that. The story was kind of basic. You kind of knew what was going to happen. All in all, I'd give it like a C, maybe a B minus, just because, like I said, since it was kind of like a Kickstarter type film, maybe a B minus, just because it looked good, you know what I mean, as far as how it was put together. But story was kind of basic. You kind of knew it was going to happen, but all in all, it was decent. But yeah, so that is the nerd moment of the week. I have nothing else for you guys. Make sure you hit the website, Pretty Nerdz Podcast. It's nerds with a Z. Shoot us an email at prettynerdspodcast@gmail.com. Any topics, anything that you guys would like us to discuss, any comments as in regards to our relationship questions. We are definitely here to answer, talk about whatever you guys want to hear. As usual, we want to thank you guys so much for listening. And again, stay safe, and we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.